Welcome back to the Spotlight. We are live here in the Defender's Den at Azura Veterans Coalition. Thank you for tuning in. Today we have a house full of amazing female veterans. I am so honored to be here today and to have you tune in to listen to their stories and hear about the celebration that is to be had with the new news that's coming up. We have some people joining in, so we're inviting you to invite yourself to the conversation. If we say something that inspires you or that negates what you're believing, whatever, let's start the conversation in the comments. Let's build up each other. Let's offer some resources. Let's offer some ideas. Have you heard of this? Did you know about that? Hey, on that note, let's just get it going. Let's build this community. Let's share resources, not gatekeep them. So that's what we're here to do today. You have a big show. It's gonna take what it's gonna take today, so there is no time or format really. We just wanted to highlight what the women's group is doing, how we found each other, what's working, what we're working towards on building, because as I've said in past episodes that I am now the proprietor here at the organization, and we are moving. Our location is changing. The underlying mission is the same, but we're expanding and we want more resources. We want more organizations to come in and join our alliance so that we can reach over 500,000 veterans in the state of Arizona. And overall, we would like to prevent veteran suicide. Let's bring that number down to 0. We're not going to stop until it's done. Okay, so there are a lot of events that are happening around the state coming up. There are many stand downs right now. Currently at the State of Representatives, there is the Veterans Caucus happening. So there's a lot of voices being shared there, a lot of concerns, a lot of policy being pushed through. We're trying to. There's a lot going on in the nation, but we're not going to focus on that today. We're going to focus on what is building the community, what is creating impact, what needs to change, and who's making those changes possible. Today here in this room are people that I know for sure are making small changes that make big impacts, and that's all that it takes. So you show up, use your voice, and let's see what happens with the ripple effect. Okay, and we have a small little interview. I want to introduce you to my new partner organization, and I've invited her to join our board. You may know her, and if you don't, well, we have a link down below that will send you to her amazing institute. Dr. Danita Applewhite, thank you for joining us here on the Spotlight today. How did I find you? I am unsure because once I did find you and I started investigating what you do, oh man, everybody knows you, and I felt like I was left out and under a rock somewhere. But I'm grateful I know you now and that we've had a few conversations leading to this discovery here today and what we're going to be implementing in the future. But you run an institute for differently abled veterans and civilians, children and adults.
No
older,
children.
Not children?
No children.
Okay. But your view on disabilities, the invisible wounds, women in the military, all service members, former, active, you're raising awareness around on that campaign right there.
Certainly.
Based on your own struggles, your own journey, and how you came up here to be the voice that you've stoked a lot of fires out there. I mean, talk about a blaze.
Yeah.
Wow, trailblazing.
Yeah.
I am so honored to be, riding right behind you in that.
It's been a long journey.
Well, I'm not going to ask your age.
It's okay. I'm 72.
You're 72.
72. I've been doing this since I was 21. I've been in the same field.
The same field of
disability management, rehabilitation. Yes. Matter of fact, they just had started vocational rehabilitation as an official basis back in the 70s. And so it was a new field. Yeah.
So instead of reading your bio and everything, let's hear it from the horse's mouth. What happened? What was it like? What's going on now? And what do we have to look forward to hearing from you? Like, what is changing? What needs more backing? What needs more awareness? What needs to be said out loud? What is the quiet part that needs to be said out loud?
Well, one of the things I wanted to share is that because of where I've come from and that is from the projects of Los Angeles, projects of New York. I grew up very afraid to walk down the street. I ran home from school a lot because I was so afraid of the environment around me. And it gave me a really good outlook on fear, on what fear is. And we were talking about that a little while ago, you know. Definitely the false expectation appearing real, right? You know. But from that, it's like a choice to grow, a choice to say, I want to move away from this. Anyone can do it. Anyone can do it. I've seen it. I've done it myself, and I know that it can be done. You can move from the so-called ghetto mentality, if you will, poverty mentality, into a sense of prosperity.
The lack
and
into the abundant mindset.
Yes, the abundant mindset. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I gotta make it known to the audience that we have members of the East Valley Women Veterans Group here, and we're all going to get to their stories, but we can see them nodding their heads. They understand what we're saying.
Yes.
So we have a room full of women who are looking to you, taking your little nuggets and saying, yeah, that's right on par with what I'm struggling with or what I've overcome. And that's how I used to think, but I used to be in lack, and now I'm in abundance.
Yes.
And they want to share it too.
We have to share it. Where else would it go? You know?
It goes within, and it creates that dis-ease.
Yes, yes. Yeah, we're all students and teachers from the very beginning of life. We are learning, and we are always sharing.
In perpetuity,
and
we continue to learn.
I have to give kudos to the women's group with Nan Molino, because she was actually the first one who invited me to join here, you know, over a drink of B-52s. B-52 bombers.
My mom loves that. She just sips on them.
So, you know, but what I was trying to get to from the fear standpoint is that overcoming fear early in life and understanding what it is and allowing that knowledge to open doors for you. And it did. It opened up doors for me to go into the military, which opened up doors for me to study rehabilitation, because I was in charge of a group of soldiers who were having challenges with getting through the quartermaster school program, especially food service, because they couldn't comprehend reading and writing exercises. And so with that, I became very involved in non-visible disabilities, and the embarrassment that many people feel when they can't speak about it, and the fear that they experience when they try to tell someone, this is what's happening with me. And now we move into what's happening with women veterans. Yeah, very serious.
Very serious.
Yes.
Why is it so serious? Because women are 2.5 times more likely to take their life and struggle and remain silent. And what else?
Yeah, civilians definitely. But when you look at it from a military perspective, why on earth would someone want to do that? That's always a question, isn't it? You know, whenever there's a death by suicide, it's always the big WHY, you know, which we'll never get an answer to because they're gone. So we have to kind of piece together what their lives are. And as you know, I just had Colonel Wanda Wright on the podcast that we do, which is actually a meeting, differently abled network meeting, and she came to talk about suicide, and it was just wonderful. Some of the stuff that we brought out, that's very painful. Yeah.
Yeah, I watched that episode. I love the format that you do.
Thank you.
Because some of us will say one way, and another person just feels freely. It's like, you know, I don't really agree with you, and here's why. And so we can illuminate some things, and I think that helps change the story we tell ourselves. So that opens us up to become curious and change the perspective that keeps whatever stuck mentality we're in, like lack, help us get closer to the abundance mentality. So it helps us cross that threshold by inviting people to have that open, safe discussion like we're having today. It's like, it's not wrong or right. It's just, this is what's happening, and this is how I discovered it. So it's just research into each other, non-judgmentally.
Yes.
Like, this is what I've experienced. But this is objectively what's happening across the nation.
Yes.
Where do I fall into that?
Yes, yes. And, you know, you just brought up something real important to me. I had a really beautiful crush, if you would, on John McCain.
Oh.
And I really, not a romantic crush, but a crush with deepest respect for the way that he didn't let party lines interfere with his decisions. And he was very, very supportive of many of the programs that I was writing at the time. And I remember sharing with him, I was there the night that they did the decision making on the Medicaid cuts in Washington, D.C. And I did a video where I said, you know, we want to see veterans more doing this than this, okay? And he really, really liked that. And now, at that time, we didn't have the situation of women taking a gun, okay? Don't call it a gun, it's a weapon, okay? Taking a weapon and actually taking themselves out. At that time, it wasn't even a big thing, but we've had a 24% increase in women veterans now dying by suicide. Why? There you go with the why again, okay? Multiple factors, yeah. And that's my work now. I can't move from it, even though, you know, I mean, when we talk about disability is my issue, you know, disability is my, you know, my main focus. But I find disability in just about everything, every person that I deal with. Some way, somehow, they're dealing with stress, okay, depression, anxiety, especially in today's world. And for a woman veteran to do this to herself is very, very serious. It says something about our society, don't you think?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially when you don't hear those statistics being thrown out there.
Right.
At all. I never hear any of that.
Yeah.
Anywhere, unless you're seeking it. It's not news. It's
from that actual statistics from disabled American veterans.
Right.
You know, that they've actually researched that. 24% increase, can you imagine that, you know, just in the last year? Yeah.
And it's the invisible disabilities that you're talking about.
Yes.
And like you just gave a whole, that spectrum is large. Right. And to work on that, you'd have to name it, right? You're like, I don't know what's wrong with me, but I am overwhelmed. Everything is here on my shoulders, and I still have to show up. I still,
Right. Especially if you have children.
So you have all this responsibility.
Right.
And we don't know what happens ultimately up until they take their life.
Right.
It's many things.
When we see a woman veteran on the street, she's been through a lot. Everyone that I've spoken to, and I've spoken to them from Las Vegas to New York to Los Angeles, and all of them, it seems to me that drug addiction is an issue, but that comes later, okay, because everything becomes so overwhelming. Now we have, in addition to all the other things that are going on with a woman veteran being in the street, we have now rules, a bill that just got passed that they can no longer have a pillow or a blanket, and they can no longer go to sleep on a bench, or they will be arrested. So there we go with a record, in addition to everything else. So it's pretty
Let's go
tough.
Back to you said fear is a choice. So what say you of the woman who's out there now living with that fear? Is it her choice that she's landed in the situation that she has been? Do you think she gave in to fear and has given up and said, well, now I'm out here on the street, I'm laying on a bench, I don't even have a pillow, what am I gonna do? That's a very risky, vulnerable situation to put yourself in.
Right.
I believe that's suicidal behavior.
I call it well, somebody else actually said that to me, that it's like slow suicide, you know. You're not doing it directly, but you're putting all the circumstances around you to make that happen. And it's very, very sad. And know that this woman veteran that's sitting out there in the street, she has gone through hell to get there. Okay, I mean, this is not an automatic situation of being, say, kicked out of a living condition. Many times we see that happens with domestic violence. Okay, so the domestic violence happens, and there's no savings account to go to, and there's just no support system.
Yeah, so you're on the lam. You're like, I'm just going to do this by myself because I have control now. There's no control piece here. I ran away from it all. I let it all go. Now I'm out here.
Yes.
And that's part of my story. I put myself out there like that.
And didn't you think when you did go out there that there would be resources? You didn't think it was going to take you all the way down.
Oh, it took me further and further down.
Yeah.
Being woken up by the cops on a bench, and you're looking behind you, they're like, yeah, the storefront you're in front of wants you to leave. Why are you out here? Yeah. Or being woken up out of a PTSD episode, not knowing where you are.
Right.
So there are a lot of things that attribute to someone ended up in that position. I had a home, I had family nearby,
right,
but nobody could understand me. I was alone in this fight. Everybody's against me. And that was the story I was telling myself. Unbeknownst to me, that was form-fitted before. Like, that wasn't a choice. It was what was pressured onto me through everything that compounded. But you don't know that it's happening, and when it happens, it hits you.
And it happens fast.
You're like, I remember that day. I pointed out my head. I said, I was talking to my father. I was like, something's wrong with me.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't control what was coming in. Those hot thoughts were always on. I had no voice. I was lost up there.
It's the flashbacks.
The body. Well, that's the signals from the body. It's trying to tell you something. But if you don't feel safe enough to drop into the felt sense and investigate that, because there wasn't resources to keep me safe to allow me to investigate, I'm going to go out and I'm going to seek some kind of, release, some reprieve, something to take this away from me. The angst, the struggle, the
trauma
chatter,
triggers, I call them.
Everything was triggering.
Everything was triggering. Yeah. It's amazing how, and I'll say it's a part of conditioning. We become conditioned to it being a bad situation. Okay, and the more that it's reinforced by our society, our community around us, and sometimes even our family, it reinforces the fact that you're going down, you're going down, you're going down. And especially if you land up losing your children through CPS, Children Protective Services, which is everywhere. I mean, the stories are overwhelming about women and their children getting caught up in this, in the eviction process, in the domestic violence process.
Yeah. That shame spiral gets
all the way,
a lot. It just.
Right. I wasn't really focused that much on women veterans until my daughter was murdered 5 years ago, and changed the trajectory of my life once more. I had to deal with a PTSD coming back because I thought I had licked it, and we never really lick it. It's always there, okay? And the factor that I lost her in that way, physically, because I still feel she's around me very much spiritually. But she kind of like, all the time she would talk to me about, Mom, you need to focus more on women, women's issues. And that's what led me into looking more at what's going on with women veterans today, really. Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm so glad you're out there, because the research that you're doing, and so you started your podcast more of like on a student basis, and then it became something larger.
Well, I started my podcast to actually create my classroom again. I had just been unfortunately hit by a drunk driver, and I had a 7-year recovery. And I was a professor through the Maricopa Community Colleges, and I missed it so much. And I was in my hospital bed and people were telling me about how to go online and that I could talk to my students online who were calling me every Saturday because I had that set up. I said, okay, I'll try it. And I did, and it really helped me. It helped me to stay focused, you know? So it's really, my podcast is my classroom.
I love that.
Yeah, yeah.
It helps you
I don't
stay
like to be
focused.
called a podcaster. I don't. I didn't go to school to be a podcaster.
I think you're the ultimate podcaster. Coming from the School of Hard Knocks,
Yes.
you have the gold right there. And because of where you
Thank you.
stand today, and how much triumph and how much adversity you faced, and still here to show up and be of service, because you're like, because it helps me. And that's how I feel about being of service too. Like, this helps me too. And finding the commonalities amongst these women and men who have all served and are struggling through the same things. Because it is a physiological human condition, understanding our emotions in our body and the coherence that must be achieved to get well and move forward. And, you know, to ascertain what, like, I can't imagine having not gotten here. Like, I fell so many times, I just kept getting back. I knew it was a possibility.
Yes.
You just have to keep removing the obstacles.
Hope.
And who delivered hope to you?
For me, it was a number of people, which is what gave me the idea to develop the Differently Abled Network. It was a nurse, military, who needed 63 lousy dollars to keep her electricity on. And it was her last semester. She had put in a lot of work to get to where she was. She had, I think, 3 or 4 kids. I can't remember exactly. But her ex took off with another woman and cleaned out the bank account. And she had no way of studying at night because she couldn't go to the library. She had kids, you know, to take care of. And she had to take the bus and the whole bit. And I asked other colleagues that were working with me at the college to see if they would contribute. And they started contributing, and that's how actually the Differently Abled Network started, is that I developed a network of people that hopefully would help out.
How many people do you get to help now?
How do I get the help now?
How many people do you get to help now? Like, how big has your platform grown?
Oh, well, there was a time before my daughter was murdered and things slowed down, that we were averaging about 24 to 30 people a month as far as intake and assessment, which is pretty busy. Okay, especially with pretty much my
ongoing.
person. I was the only person for quite a while. You know, I wanted to do this. I felt compelled by a force maybe many of us know as God, but Creator. It's a force within me that says I have to do this, and
Yes.
it hasn't stopped since I was 21 years old. You know, help people to change their perception of disabled to differently abled, so that they can roll up their sleeves and get out of bed and let's get going, and let's help each other out. You know, I do want to tell you that. I named the podcast Ask Dr. Applewhite because my students kind of like developed that, that they were asking me questions, and I kind of like designed it around the Dear Abby kind of like thing. Are you familiar with Dear Abby? Yeah, that column, yeah. You know, to ask the question and then give that answer. And as you see, it's working. It's coming back around again. And I'm looking forward to it taking off, and so that we'll have more funding so that we can do what we need to do. And working with you is going to be fantastic. You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We have our work cut out for us.
Yeah.
We have the resilience, and I follow a woman, Dear Gabby is her name, Gabrielle Bernstein. She's kind of like my guru woman who's lived experience that, similar to mine. And I believe too that I was divinely guided to do this work because it interrupted me.
Yeah.
and it happened to me for a reason. And then it gave me my purpose, my new mission. And dear Gabby, thank you. You know, we all have that person, that divine intervention somehow, and we can see it, and we have the choice inevitably to say, I choose to take on this responsibility for the highest good for all, for my women and my brethren, or I can do this. But having that choice should show you the strength that you have left in you.
Yes.
It's gonna be hard either way. Do the one that's calling you. Go after it, because you will be so rewarded. It's not gonna be what you think it is, and things show up. And as we're gonna get into here shortly, the synchronicities that align, you're like, this is my path. And it does get harder, but then you gain support along the way. It's amazing.
It'd be good to know what everybody's learned and what they're willing to share. That's so important. What do you want to share? Because, you know, when you really get down to the nitty gritty, just recently, as you and I just worked on a situation with a woman veteran who is in need, and I'm not just going to say it. I mean, I'm very shocked at the factor that we can't find the help that we need, okay? I'm very shocked that shelters are so full that our women veterans are being turned away. Anyone, woman, period, turned away. And where do they go? They have to go to the street or to a very uncomfortable situation, okay? And it hurts me. It hurts me to even say, no, we don't have funding. No, the shelters are closed. No, there's nowhere to go. Where are you going to sleep tonight? And they'll say, Dr. Apple, I'm going to sleep in my car. And I say, find a safe place. You know, that's really,
children in tow.
Yeah, that's really what bugs me the most is how could this even happen? How can I send out a notice to people and ask for money to help someone get on their feet? Okay, not back on their feet, as I was just saying a little while ago to somebody. We don't want to go backwards. We want to get on our feet, help them get on their feet, and so that they can go forward. Instead of giving them the key to an apartment, find out why they lost the last key, so that you can really build a whole profile of an individual and understand how they landed up there and how we can prevent it from happening again.
That is exactly what I just said on the interview with Fox right before this. Same.
Synchronicity.
I know. Yes, woman. We have just been hitting, ever since I met you, all of our narrative is the same. And that's great, because knowing that our former narratives didn't serve us very well. And that we've hit so much adversity, or for lack of a better term, right? Just just up in our minds, and then what life has thrown at us. So we know who we are and what we've done and how we're overcoming and creating platforms. I want to hear from the women out here and see what they're doing.
Before you do that, let's hear from you.
No.
Okay.
The whole show's about me.
Okay. I want to know what kind of started you with the women veterans. You know, I know what got me in this pathway, because I mean, we're talking about, 1 out of 10, maybe 1 out of 100 of servicemen, service people, that they're a woman. We're a very low number.
0.01%.
Yeah.
Well, I needed a women's organization. I needed a women's group.
For what purpose? For you?
For me. I came down here, I looked for one, and there wasn't one. There was one on the west side, but that didn't serve me here. So then when I took over the role here, I hadn't even taken over the role yet. It was my duty as an AmeriCorps Vista to start a program within the agency that I was working with. I was like, well, let's do the women veterans group. I went to one networking event and said, I propose this issue. I want to start this group. Women in that networking event stood up and said, we've all been talking about that.
Right.
So I just stood up and said, let's do it. I'm not from here. So they shouted out an email list. 50 women showed up to the first, just to sit in on the conversation.
Wow.
Boom. And I don't even know where that came from ultimately. couldn't tell you. I just knew that when I walked in that door and it was full of men and I did the about face, I'm like, I need these services.
Right.
I have to go back in there. But I need some women by me to do this.
And
I knew
it's not
that.
against men. Oh my
It's not
God, no,
against them,
no.
But I needed someone there who understood me.
Right.
And they knew. The men know. They're like, I can't speak to what your situation is, and you obviously struggled with having conversations with men. You're coming over something. They knew. They were okay. They're like, okay, well, here are some women. Here's an entity, or let's go to this event, and how about you ask about it there? And so they helped me do that.
Yes.
Yeah, and there are a lot of men out there who support women and want to help us get to the other side of this and build there is a lot of support out there. I went to the VA to get to the pharmacy the other day, and just the pharmacy technician, the intake guy, just having a casual conversation with him while he's click-clacking, ended up having so much in common with this individual. And I was like, I'm so grateful someone like you works here, who has that bedside manner, who can lean into the veteran story, kind of like what we do here. You meet them where they are, and you don't even know that you're doing it. And by the end of it, you find you have so much commonality. But if before I had that confirmation bias, I'm like, this guy is I'm not gonna, I just had this whole
I'm not gonna open up.
wall and story, and I'm like, sure. And I had a whole attitude around it. But I was just like, how long have you been with the VA? How many other VAs you've been to? Oh, what do you think about that? And then we just started talking about life and everything. All the reservations were just gone. I think if we just open up the humanity piece, and for the women's piece, I truly was feeling like that's what I needed, the nurturing aspect of it. It's not that I couldn't stand on my own, but I wanted to share what I just went through and what I came out of. I came out of the fire.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, now I'm barren. There's nothing here to walk on, just that new, it's ready to be seeded and cultivated, right?
Right.
Who's going to help me sow that? Who's going to help me? Who's going to build me up? I knew from the centers that I had gone through, the women are the ones that got me to the other side, that still remain my friends from those treatment centers. They were their first instills into how I can look up to. I'm like, I want to be like you. And they made me believe, or they got me to a place where I could believe in myself, that I could, reach levels of them. And because I had them up on this pedestal, I was like, there's no way I can be like you. And they're like, well, honey, listen, you're telling the same story I'm telling right now. We're both in this treatment center together. They're like, so there's no pedestal here. We're here together on common ground. And so when I took all that away, they gave me that gift to see it beyond what my limiting beliefs had me.
I like what we're proposing to do, Nicole. I like that we're proposing to collaborate not only together, but we're asking for a collaboration with other women agencies in Arizona, Maricopa County, and we're asking them, if we pull our resources together, look at how powerful we could be, okay? But what we're doing is we have branches in different places that all of them need money, all of them need funding. I hear the same story over and over and over again. But if we pull together, we could possibly eliminate the no on the phone, that no, I'm sorry, there's no shelter. No, sorry, there's no food box. No.
Yeah, and we don't want, it's great that women are becoming trailblazers themselves, are like, well, I'm gonna start a group. It's like, you don't need to start one. You don't have to do that. Join one, right? So let's just keep building each other up, because I think the issue with not having the East Valley Women Veterans Group that wasn't established yet was the funding and the backing, right? I just happened to be in a position to get the financial backing to start it, to get the awareness going. That's all. And then they came, and then they're building it. We're all doing it together. And then we're learning about all these other service organizations that either house women or support women and help them traverse whatever they're struggling with. But it is hard to get a hold of them, or they're out of funding, or this or that.
Right.
There's always something.
Yes.
We want to have consistent, sustainable resources that when they call, we have it right now. And right now, it seems like I'm the only one with funding that that I worked very hard to get, and it came at the last moment, but I kept faith until the end. But that's only going to last for so long. So yeah, we have to come up with a plan. And what we're proposing to do in January, we're going to do this big, we'll get into that more. I want to give the women a chance to talk today. But yes, ultimately, we need more solidarity here.
Right.
And the impact, even though we're all working in silos or whatever's happening, that we all make an impact, but let's make it a big splash. Let's make a big show of it. And, the recruitment, because what did we say? We were counting up numbers earlier throughout the organizations, people we can count. We're like, maybe there's like 500 women that we know of that are actively involved in the women veteran sphere here.
Yes.
But there are 50,000 women veterans in Arizona.
Right.
How do we get them to come out and share, if they're not struggling or if they don't need the camaraderie, well, you have something to offer and you have a story to tell, and let's collect those.
Right.
I believe that's possible and it's necessary, and you don't know who you're going to help by sharing your story.
And the model could be duplicatable to go to other places.
Absolutely.
To help all over the nation, because we need it. It's everywhere. It's not just in Arizona. And, I think big because the problem is big.
Oh, yeah.
So
I would not be in this role if it wasn't for this women's group.
Yeah.
Because of this women's group, it helped me save the center, not once, but twice.
Yes.
Just creating this program is what put the belief in United Way to offer me the role after my predecessor decided to do something else. And they're like, oh, all right, let's do that. And then because of them, I was able to sustain the year and then embolden myself to, like, yes, I can do this. Yes. I'm going to take over the nonprofit because I have these women behind me, help strengthening me, changing my narrative, calling them whenever, always available. And then I'm available back to them. I could never have imagined this was something, I wasn't even looking for ultimately. But when I got here, I was like, oh, I need that. And then I found it, and I feel better. And now I want to just make it grow and be a part of more things. And when a woman calls me and says, I need all these things, I'm like, I can offer you this, but I can't continue to. How do we get you that long sustaining, like you said?
Yes.
What took away the last key? How do we get you into your own key and give you that?
That's right.
That security.
Stability.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Like, we want to take down that fight or flight response. Like, you're here. Okay, now you can focus on the healing. It's hard to start the healing when you're stuck in fight or flight and you got to have safety first, right? So let's start there. Thank you. I'm looking forward to what's to come next. I want to get into these lovely women out here who have.
Yeah, I can't believe my assistant is with me. She's 21 years old at ASU and just totally into women veterans and what we're trying to do with people with disabilities. It's just wonderful. Morgan, it's a pleasure to have you here. Yeah.
Happy to be here.
Yeah.
Thanks for supporting the doc over here. And congratulations, you're graduating in December.
December. I'm ready.
Yes.
Get me out.
Out into the world, doing good work.
Exactly. Yeah.
Be a mover and a shaker.
Yeah.
Yes.
I really hope that we haven't made any comments that would make men feel uncomfortable, because there really are differences in the way that we have to look at how we're taking care of ourselves. I mean, we have the basic stuff going on, depression, anxiety, and all of that, but we also have menstrual issues. We also have MST, military sexual trauma issues that we have to look at. So there are some differences. If anybody ever asks you, well, why are you doing a women's group as opposed to separating from the men, there are differences that we have to look at.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. Yes. Sharna.
Sure. My name is Sharna, and I own Cadence Counseling. I'm also with the
I can't hear you.
Huh?
What? Who are you? How did you find us? Where do you come from?
Hi, my name is Sharna Horan. Sorry, I'm hard of hearing, lost my hearing in the military. Don't have my hearing aids on right now.
Oh, you don't have hearing aids on either?
No! So that's my fault.
Yeah.
But I was going to go a different direction today, but what you guys did today was very powerful. Because if I would have found you guys last May, my trajectory might have been a little bit different. I went through every single different military option to find a treatment program for myself because I'm in recovery. I'm about 18 months in about a week and a couple days. And thank you. And I couldn't find any resources. I went to
I'm so sorry.
veteran location to veteran location, and I remember the last woman on the phone, I was in a parking lot of another veteran organization, and the woman on the phone was saying, I'm so sorry, you're a veteran and I appreciate your service, but there's nothing I can offer you. And it was like, wow, right? I took myself out of my career for a while, and I randomly ended up at your center. I mean, it was really pretty random. I was walking. Yeah, my first walk by was with my nutritionist, and I saw the military stuff, and they're like, well, we can stop in. So I think I just grabbed a card and zipped out, and then I had left the treatment center that I was at, and I walked in, and I was like, I have to use the restroom. Can I use the restroom? I swear I'm a veteran. And like, she's like, and I was putting some of my cards in there, and she's like, wait, your card was on my desk, and I was meaning to get back to you in a couple weeks or whatnot, and so I went to use the restroom, and it like just kind of started from there. And for me, I really like supporting this organization because I created my organization with a military name on purpose, because once you're in, you're never out. And regardless of how long you've been in, yeah, and once you've been in, like, the expectations on yourself are so much greater, and in my career I've placed so much greater expectations on myself. And I'm doing this for a living, and I'm doing all of this stuff for everybody else, and when I hit bottom, like, I had nowhere to go. Nobody was helping me for an entire month. I was like trying to find resources, and the center, what it does is it really does give that wraparound option, and that's what I like. And for my business, I don't just want to be a business that's okay, I'm going to see all my clients and make money and whatnot. I want to do something in the community, because at the end of the day, you can't take the money with you. And Nicole, you are a force, like, literally, and I love it. I love that you want to power forward and you want to do all these things, because I believe in you. I believe in what I see. All the women in here, when I walk in the center and out of the center, I mean, they're putting their heart and their souls into it. The women who are there, they don't get paid for it. They go because they love it and they want to support the veterans. It doesn't matter if you're a female veteran or a male veteran. I mean, my brother's still in over 22 years as a fighter pilot. Like, we are one community, right? We might jabber at each other for being a Navy person, or Marine. I'm an Army. I was in the Army.
Yeah, you're Army, huh?
That's mine, actually. Yeah, but I mean, like, you're one family, and when you hit bottom, and you don't want to ask for help, right? Because you've been taught, like, to get up on your own, and when you hit that bottom, there's nowhere to go. And a center like this gives you an opportunity to not just get resources, to have somebody walk with you.
Yes.
I mean, I was day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4 of all of my recovery without anybody helping me, and me begging for help. Like, literally, I remember begging 2 people that I know, just help me find a treatment center, help me, I want to get clean, and nobody was helping me. Had I found your center, I think things would have fallen in line a lot faster. And so, to get behind your mission, I'll volunteer whatever I can, because, yeah, and that's my thing. How are we going to support each other? And it's not just about women or men, but women are the underrepresented population that tend to go through a couple different things. So we need to come together and help each other, but we need to help everybody who's at that position, and that's what your center does.
Thanks, Charlotte.
Good points.
Thank you very much. Awesome.
It's got to be somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah, what about you over there?
Just kidding.
Huh? Veronica Morgan from Home of Record Project.
I am Veronica Morgan from the Home of Record Project. I am the Director of Outreach for this organization. It's new. It's only been around for 2 years. We help veterans with transitional housing, eviction prevention, and utility assistance, which I am very passionate about. Just like a lot of nonprofits, we also are struggling with funding, but it's something I'm very passionate about, and I try to dedicate time every single day to get our name out there and to see what I can do for other veterans. So,
Who are you as a veteran now?
I am an Army veteran. I was a cook, and when you said food service, I was like, yeah. I love cooking. I ended up going in for culinary school afterwards, so it's something I really enjoy. I spent 1 year in Afghanistan and 2 years in Hawaii, so I got the best of both worlds, I guess. But and I was on an army ship for a little bit too, so yeah.
Yeah, but because you were a cook in Afghanistan, you want to tell us how you became a frontline soldier?
It's funny because when I first joined, my dad was like, "Oh, you're a female, you're not going to end up in a war zone." And then within 3 months, our unit that hadn't been activated in 40 years was activated, and I was in Afghanistan within 3 months or maybe like 3 to 6 months of being active. After basic training and everything, I ended up in Afghanistan, and 18 years old, turning 19 in Afghanistan was pretty interesting, and we worked long hours. I was a cook majority of the time. I did some security, and then I ended up in the medical station because they didn't have females to do certain things like, you know, operating on the kids and dressing changes and things like that. So I found myself doing something I had very little training in, but I stepped up just like a lot of us do when we're called to do something. And I was the hands of the doctor and things like that because of the rules there. They don't necessarily want men to touch, you know, or interact with the women. So that was my role in all that. But it was a learning experience for sure.
How'd you find us?
I actually was referred to you by another veteran organization, and I showed up, and I work right down the street, and I didn't see it, and I walked in and didn't realize how much resources were here, and I was very impressed with everything. So, and then I slowly got integrated into the East Valley Women Veterans, and I'm really happy I joined. It's nice to be surrounded by other female veterans. And I don't know if other female veterans have ever felt this way, but I've always had my guard up, even just stepping back into the veteran community, because, you know, as women we're treated a little bit differently and you always have to step your game up working around the men. And so I struggled to even step back into that role because I only served 3 years, and it was a wall. It was a limiting belief that I put on myself. But I always wanted to help veterans, and when I finally stepped into that role, it's been amazing, and I'm so glad that I did surround myself by other veterans and stuff, so it's been really nice.
Yeah, we're glad you're here too. And you subscribe to the holistic modalities for your healing adventure.
Yeah, I tried, you know, what the doctor prescribed me at the VA, and I just took it as it was, but I never really tried other modalities, and I started to get into ketamine treatment, and it's been absolutely amazing, and hypnotherapy and psilocybin occasionally, but I'm really big into natural things like breath work and hypnosis and meditation and things like that, and it's once I kind of switched over to that, it's been everything I needed. So.
Did I hear you say that you've experienced suicidal thoughts yourself?
Yes, yeah.
And do you feel that that part of that is from different things that have happened in your life, not just one?
No, yeah, I had a very traumatic childhood, and I feel like I kind of joined the military to try to escape and give myself a different, you know, road for my life, and it ended up just adding on to it in good and bad. But both of my experiences, I didn't realize how much trauma I was holding on to until I went to ketamine therapy, and I had to break some walls down and relive a lot of things that I went through and kind of change my viewpoint on them and on you know, my parents, because I feel like I held on to a lot of anger and resentment on certain things, but in reality, everyone's just trying to get through life and trying to figure out what's, you know, best for them and doing the best that they can most of the time, you know. So I had to retrain my thought process on a lot of things and forgive a lot.
Just amazing.
Yeah.
And you look at us, and you know, nobody could tell the struggle, the pain, you know. that's one of the things that we have to deal with is the perception that people have of us as women veterans with non-visible disabilities.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We wear many masks.
Yes.
It could be scary to even peel back one layer because trusting someone with, being that vulnerable, you have to be safe and not to be judged, or to have someone take that and attack you for it and use it as ammunition against you.
Yes. Yes.
So it's not like we haven't tried to put down the mask and show other people who we are and our scars and hold them. It's because when we have been retaliated against based on somebody else's trauma, so that's their projection of what's
Absolutely.
happened to them. But it still makes us put up another wall.
What an ugly cycle. You even did that with your hands just now. I don't know if you realize that.
My
yeah.
body is doing
yeah,
it.
Yeah.
Like, so it's so unconscious,
yeah,
like my
right.
body still remembers, and I
Yeah.
still am trying to process that. And I
That
saw
cycle.
Charlotte, you're over there shaking your head. You're like, yep, wall. And, but you're here, like you found us, you kind of sought us out because you're coming from a different state.
Yeah, we moved here about a little over a year ago, and in Wyoming, it was an MST group. But
It was an MST.
It was an MST group
Yes.
that the VA in Cheyenne had for years, and then all of a sudden they decided that we weren't evidence-based, and they basically kicked us out of the VA. So we kind of stuck together, and I was working at the Cheyenne Vet Center, and I got one of my counselors to agree we had to have a host, or we had to have a staff member. So we ended up moving over there and still had our group. But moving here, I was lost because I was with those women for 15 years, and coming here and having nothing. It was actually my husband that found the place because he's an amazing man, and he saw that I was struggling. So he just found East Valley Women Veterans, and I'm good.
You're good?
I got my girl gang again, so we're
She
good.
does. Charlotte has really, I put her in charge of the Defender's Den because she is so creative, she turned this place around. So I just kind of built the foundation work. And I'm like, I kind of want to do this, that, and the other. I show up the next day. This woman's got this place decked out, and she's got all these ideas. And she brings in her crickets. She makes T-shirts for the women's group. She makes all the signs out there. She makes the buttons, and she's in school, and and she has children as well. And she's still with. I don't want to speak for you, but you're still, working on your scars as well and finding your voice.
Probably eternally be working. I think we all are.
Yeah.
They're never gonna go away. We just learn how to manage them better when they surface.
She's a keeper.
She's a keeper, and we love her.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's pretty amazing.
Make me cry.
Okay.
It's okay to
I'm
cry.
glad to be part of this, and I hope that
I'm
I
glad
can
you're here too.
share some things.
We need
To help
more.
you
We
grow
need more.
too.
We need more sisters.
We have more
Okay.
sisters. A
Yeah.
couple of them couldn't make it today because
Yes.
they're running organizations themselves and they're showing up for women out there. And we're just starting the conversation here. But this is the hope we get to provide to them. Marie's over there shaking her head like she wants to say how
Yeah.
she found us.
One more thing. I just want to tell you, Nicole, thank you. I don't know what else. Just thank you.
Thank you.
What you do is awesome. Go ahead, Marie. Sorry.
All right, that's enough.
Every group's got one of them.
Okay, let's cut it off. Hi,
Hey, girl.
hey, I'm Marie, Air Force retired. And when
You're
you said,
okay. You're okay.
Yep, okay. I know, I heard somebody say Chair Force, and I have kind of a little bit of hearing trouble too. And I was like, what? Chair Force. But I was just, when I heard you say you only served 3 years, you served.
Right.
Yeah. and
I
it's
thought
like,
the
you know,
exact same thing. I wanted
See?
to say, yeah.
Right. But I was looking for a space after taking care of my mom full-time for about 4 years. She had lived with me before that, but she was very capable of taking care of herself. And I had worked out at the Gateway Airport. It was Williams Gateway, then Phoenix Mesa, and now it's Mesa Gateway. But I love airplanes. I worked out there, but I, left there early to become a full-time caregiver, not caretaker, caregiver. And so after she passed last year at 96, she lived a very long life. I was trying to get back out in society because, as you you know, if you're a caregiver, it's somewhat isolating, that job. And so I looked up online, I was looking for, you know, veteran space, found this place here. I couldn't believe how close it was, came in here. And Diane from Goodwill was helping me. So I was looking for a job, trying to get back out in society. And I saw Nicole in here the second time I came. I went, oh, yeah, she's in charge. You could just tell. I didn't know who she was, but when I walked in, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, she's in charge of the place. Looked nice, you know, and stuff like that, very friendly, very approachable. And
Are you being facetious right now?
not at all. So I was able to, you know, Diane invited me to the East Valley Women's Group that meets once a month, you know, for brunch, and did that. And I'm not one who usually gets out or opens up, but it's helped me over the past year. And
Good.
and just being able to give back a little bit, volunteer, and do that maybe, you know, when I can, maybe once a week. But met some incredible women, and Charlotte, you know, you really are resourceful.
She makes my Tuesdays much happier.
And you make mine. So glad to be here. I'm glad you're here.
Thank you.
Glad.
Miss Abby.
I thought it was happy.
Well, she makes me happy.
Yeah, it's it's Miss Abby.
Miss Abby.
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 Okay.
A-P-P-Y.
Harry.
Abby.
Harry. Oh, it's Abby.
Oh,
Right.
Yeah.
Abby.
Okay, you were right.
Okay.
I think my hearing aids are gone too.
Thank you for listening. Thanks.
Thanks for being here. So serious, yet so full of life. Young lady, tell us how you found us.
You know,
So
she's going in for operations.
She's Marie was talking about co-op survival earlier, and here part of the co-op survival organization is Norma, who works with Sharon Grossi in the caregiver space.
Care partner.
Yeah.
Care partner is the current term.
Oh, that's new. I haven't heard that.
The care partner and the loved one, because you don't know what relationship the person is, whether it's a parent or a sibling or a child taking care of a parent. I mean, there's so many different combinations. It's the current term that the Alzheimer's Association is using is care partner. I'm Norma. You know, I'm Vietnam era, and so nobody liked the military. Any military, didn't matter, man or woman, but they didn't like women. Disparaging to the military in general, very disparaging to women. And I got out in '71, and we tried to connect with some veteran groups, and they were very welcoming to my husband and very dismissive of me. And so it wasn't until 2018 that I even discovered that there were any women veteran organizations existing, and that was because Wanda Wright was the head of Arizona State Department of Veteran Services at the time and had a women's veteran expo. So that was the first time that I found any organizations such as the WACS or a chapter or M1, Military Women Across the Nation. But I ended up here because when Nicole was looking to put together an East Valley Women Veterans group, somebody reached out to Co-op Survival. And Co-op Survival is an organization, a 501c3, that brings together care partners, veterans, or veteran caregivers, veterans, and the community for conversation. And while you're having the conversation, you tie knots. And so it's bilateral brain stimulation, so it gives you an opportunity to...
Now, where's this at?
We provide opportunities to do this in various locations, but we meet, for example, on the last Monday of the month at the American Legion on Ray and Alma School. We meet on the third Saturday of the month at Francisco Renewal Center, and then other places as invited. We've gone to churches. We went to Tri-West and put on a thing, but it's various things, but it's an opportunity for people with a commonality of experience to get together and have conversation. And it's an opportunity for caregivers to become less invisible because they have an opportunity to help others understand that there is a person behind that veteran, and that person is the advocate for that veteran, and the person should be part of the conversation with that veteran. And oftentimes when we see a disabled person, we pay attention to that person but we don't see the person behind the person who has that disability. And so by bringing the caregivers and the veterans and the community together, we can have that conversation. And by tying knots, we can do bilateral brain stimulation, so you're totally engaged, and it does reduce the chances of a person escaping into their own world and having the suicidal thoughts and things of that nature. So it accomplishes a lot of different purposes. The knots become dog leashes.
Yeah.
The dog leashes are given free to veterans and first responders. They are never sold. So it gives the caregiver, with the person who's participating in this activity, an opportunity to become engaged, because you are often isolated. It becomes an opportunity to have a sense of satisfaction because you produce this product, and a sense of selflessness because you are then giving that product away to a fellow veteran. So that's kind of what brought me into that meeting with the East Valley Women Veterans when they were discussing this becoming a community. And I'm old, and there are a lot of ages here of people in the veteran community, but there's something about that connection that allows you to talk to that person regardless. It doesn't matter what age, it doesn't matter what branch, it doesn't matter what they did in the service. It's just that we immediately have something to talk about, even if we're talking about crayons for the Marines. Army and Navy being four-letter words. It doesn't matter. You have something. You have something to start the conversation, and then you can go from there. And somehow you start opening up about things that you might not have opened up about otherwise. And I did have a brother who took his own life, and it was in an era when you couldn't speak the word suicide, that there was so much shame and stigma associated with it that it was not part of conversation. And it was probably 7 years before even the family was willing to talk about my brother because of the way in which he left this world.
The why.
The why, because we'll never know the why.
Yeah.
And we'll never know the things that we missed. And it's good that that conversation can be had. It's also good that the conversation can be had about behavioral health, about, because again, in my generation, therapy was not something you did. You know, so having that conversation, having that support, and that was conversations I've had with Nicole, having that support and encouragement to take that track is welcoming and alleviates a lot of the burden that we accumulate over a lifetime of actions. So
We need counseling resources.
Yes.
You know, where do you go when you want to counsel and you don't have the money?
Well, that is the proposed model here. I've been looking for a social worker to bring on board
Right.
that has all of this within her. That was my trajectory. That's the
Yes.
woman that I wanted to be.
Yes.
But I'm not credentialed, so I would like to have that person in the office to help me. You know,
We're going to find her.
we are going to find her. That's what we're looking
Yeah.
for. I know that it's a person who of that caliber. Sharna told me that I'm looking for a unicorn, someone that is me, that also holds the credentials, who
Yes.
can also do some other things. She's like, so you're looking for a unicorn? I said, what all unicorns here? But someone who can serve the families, the individuals, and has you know, that mentality. Maybe the lived experience part I might be asking for a little too much, but I think you must be a veteran to understand the faith that we walk.
I have to agree with you. There's just too many of those
I
other
heard
things.
Wanda Wright on your show speak
Yes.
to that. She's like, no, I got to disagree there.
Yeah.
You veterans are different than civilians
Right.
in this kind of matter, even though it is
Absolutely.
compounded from before the service and what happened after the service.
Mm-hmm.
And Co-op Survival's doing a retreat right now. She just got done with the retreat, or it's just ending today.
doing a retreat at Franciscan Renewal Center, and Diana Mills, incorporating the philosophy of rewriting your story. It's that we tell ourselves stories, and sometimes we have to rewrite those stories.
And that's what we're talking about here.
Wonderful.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
and
Sharon
the reason
is
I got
amazing.
to come for Co-op Survival is because I was the veteran care partner. I was a care partner and a veteran. And so Sharon felt like she's taking care of her son. She's the caregiver for her son. And so she called me and said, you're the veteran. Go here and find out what's going on, that you can speak better to this conversation.
And she is funded through the Elizabeth Dole Foundation. And she's also the recipient of, they're going to help her get through her master's, which she didn't even think was going to be possible. Like it came out of nowhere. It's like the gift of the work she's already done. She's already, reached the achievement of this.
Yes.
And the way that she's working with that foundation, it's phenomenal. And if you don't know about the Elizabeth Dole Foundation, I invite you to go check out the website, because it's amazing work for the person behind the veteran.
The hidden hero. Elizabeth Dole calls this the hidden heroes.
Yes.
When Bob Dole was shot and she went to Walter Reed Hospital to visit with him, she recognized that the veteran was being attended to, but the family surrounding the veteran was not being supported. And so she created the Elizabeth Dole Foundation in order to help the hidden heroes, the caregiver behind the veteran.
They suffer alongside of us. They take their own lives as well. It becomes too much. They become invisible, and they're no longer the person, the spouse, the whatever. They're like, now I have to take care of this person. And we have to invite both parties to enlist in healing, and we have to become separate from each other and know that we're how would you say it? When we're healing alongside of each other, but with interdependence, correct?
Yes, yes.
So, and we have to give each other some grace and respect, and not take it personally. I mean, I'm speaking from myself. Like, I had an enabler, and it took a lot for me to have to step away from that. I'm like, this is not helpful for either of us. We both have a lot of mental health issues. We should not be trauma bonding like this. We're both stuck, and it got to a violent point, So we don't want that to happen, and that's kind of why I built the stage, and we have the projector screen so we can have workshops and seminars in here. I know we haven't been able to have many of them here, but we are going to have them in the new space, especially with more conversations like this and more verbiage coming out. I love that. I didn't know some of those things, so I'm grateful you're here.
My husband had dementia, and something like 63% of the caregivers of a person with dementia die before the person they're caring for, because of the stress, because it's a 24/7 job.
They say that loneliness contributes to dementia.
I was just thinking of loneliness.
Yeah, it does.
Right, unbelievable.
Shortens your life.
And people to admit to loneliness, but you can't get them to admit very much to a non-visible disability, because most people don't know what that means.
Well,
When you say disability, it's like the fear factor that we started with talking about comes back in. And I don't want you to think of me as disabled. And what I ask is, what does disabled look like? What is the fear there? Because we all have something. And I'm kicking the dis out of disability, and I'm kicking the dis out of discomfort, and I'm kicking the dis out of disadvantage. Okay? Yes. All right? Kick that dis. All right?
New slogan, Charlotte. Okay. I love your energy around this. That's awesome.
She has an excellent taste in color.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. My favorite, absolutely.
Yeah.
Purple.
Yeah.
Did I miss the memo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to highlight Nan over here.
Yeah.
She is an Uber volunteer. She's been here since the beginning. How did
I got invited to the first meeting of the East Valley Women Veterans, and I'm going, yay, because I was talking to the chair of the West Valley group, and I said, is there an East Valley Women Veterans group? She goes, no, not right now, but you go ahead and start it. And I was thinking about it, and I'm going, okay, maybe I will. And then all of a sudden, I get this invite. And it's like, okay, great, awesome. And I just wanted to be a part of it. I'm an Army veteran myself, did Cold War, did Intel, was in Berlin. So I didn't have that trauma occur.
No trauma?
No trauma from my time in the military. I spent 7 years. Got out 40 years ago, and I had a good time in the military. Had my daughter, came back, to my home state, Arizona, and I had a trauma after from a veteran. So it just, I didn't know where to turn to. I hadn't used the VA until a couple of years ago. But I've been involved with the military my entire life, in one way or another.
She brought this document in, the one we all swore to defend.
Yes.
Can you tell us about the story of this?
This is obviously a copy of the Declaration of Independence. And my dad made the frame. And he was a carpenter. And I have another document at home that he made. So he does a lot of.
Constitution too?
He doesn't have the Constitution.
I'd love that too. Yeah.
But there's another document, and I can't think of the name of it right off the hand. It's not the Bill of Rights. No, my ex got that one.
But your dad served.
My dad served in World War II. 3 years. He was in Okinawa, Philippines, New Guinea, and Australia. And so.
No, North Korea. My dad served in North Korea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And he
was
served
there-
in Mesa, right?
What was
He
it?
served in Mesa? Like
Um,
after service, he served in Mesa.
He actually worked for Williams Air Force Base for 35 years as a civilian contractor. Worked out there. I lived in Tempe near SU. Those are my old stomping grounds. I don't recognize them anymore. So, but
You volunteered with Veterans Affinity for a few years.
I did for like 15 months, and I stepped away from that, and decided I want to come here because I want to help all veterans, not just the senior, just all eras, no matter who walks through the door, just help them out, because that's what I'm about. That's my purpose. That's my why.
How do you feel when you have to say no?
It breaks my heart.
What?
But if somebody says, "Oh, do you have gas cards right now?" It's like,
We don't say no here.
we don't say no, but not at this time. We don't have the funding for it.
Because when they come in and they ask for a gas card, it's like, this isn't what we do. That's whoever was here before had a grant for that. So those were offered, but there was a stipulation. You had to do the workforce development seminar before you would gain access to that. And then they would come back the next month having not gotten a job after the workforce seminar and asking for another gas card. So I cut the program, and first of all, it was Chrysalis. It was a veteran family who made the grant and offered it to us with line items that they wanted achieved here to do that. But when they come in, they're like, I need a gas card. I'm like, okay, well, let's look at this holistically. Like you said, what's the key you lost? What's the why here? What is overall what's happening here? So it's like, no, we don't have gas cards, but we will offer you assistance holistically. Let's sit down, let's talk. Let's get behind
So
it.
you don't come in again next month for another bus card and another bus card. It has to end somewhere. There has to be stability, like we talked about earlier.
We don't give them a handout. We give them a handout.
We teach them to fish, basically.
Yeah.
We don't have to teach them anything. We have to remind them what they're capable of.
Yes, they already have it in there, don't they?
I mean, some might need to be taught, but ultimately, it's reminding them. Yeah.
I think you're a great teacher.
Thank you. I'm trying to get better every day.
I pick it up. I pick it up from you that you're a great teacher.
I have a lot of women mentors in my life who I get to call and ask for help. How do I do this? How do I say that? How do I approach that? Yeah. So, and I appreciate Nan. She does come in here. She's got a wealth of knowledge. She's got that comfort, that smile always. She always says yes. She always shows up. She does say no. I mean, it's not like she doesnesn't have boundaries. She does.
Right.
But
Have to have boundaries.
yeah.
So that's the no you can say around
But
here.
I respect her time because she goes to a lot of events on her own accord because she just wants to be the veteran. She doesn't always have to be of service to veterans.
Yes.
She wants to be a part of.
Always learn what's going on in the veteran community. Because sometimes you see on Facebook or social media what certain groups are doing, but then sometimes you don't know what certain groups are doing. 'Cause
She
they
helped-
don't use it.
Yeah, and I don't have access to it, like the freedom to like engage in all of that. And she is my ultimate online ambassador for me, and she helps me run the women's group. I mean, we all do, but she's like kind of like the administrator part of it. She helps me with all that in and out, and puts me in front of situations. She's like, "Did you know about this?" And I'm like, "Hell no! What are you gonna do about it? Let's go do something about that." So that's fun. I like that.
I'm always finding stuff like either online or somebody sends something to me and it's like, did you know about this?
Yeah, more resources. And
Yeah, more
it's great. We need
resources
all of
or-
us.
What's all
more
these
events
resources,
coming up.
we should not have the problem that we have.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
so we
I
gotta
think
get to
it's
that.
the connection. I think that the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing, and that's the issue right now. Is that there are all these amazing resources, but we don't know how to come together quite yet.
We need a hub,
Yeah.
and this
Yeah.
can be the hub.
That's what we call it, right?
The hub.
The hub.
Yes, the hub.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know when I was looking for resources for my husband, I would always find them right after they would have been useful to me. So you go, oh, that resource exists. Well, I'm already to here. That's not going to help me now. I need this next resource, and I wouldn't learn about it until I was to here.
Well, I
And,
think-
and you don't always know what the restrictions are. It's like, 70% before
That's
you
what
can
I want to
into
get
the-
to. Exactly. A lot of these other organizations won't help. They can't help because of the parameters of the grant that they're
Yes,
using.
yes,
So
yes.
we have a female veteran right now who is being denied services from these organizations because of her discharge status.
Very big.
But the issue with that is if you heard her story and you knew her why, you would change your mind.
Mm-hmm.
And we shouldn't have to deliver it like that way, right? And I know not every woman in the world has all of these flawless features who says, yes, all these things happened to me and I deserve this and my life is just clean and I just fell and I just need a handout and this is for you. That's not how it works. Life is very messy and we show up and we respond the best way we know how and we struggle and we get back up, we're doing the best we can with what we have.
The best we can. That's right, Nicole.
But when a woman comes up to me and says, I have served my country and something terrible happened to me, which caused me to flee the situation, which ultimately resulted in a negative discharge status on my DD-214, that just says no to all services provided.
Yes, it does.
You're on your own.
Unfortunately. Yes.
It happens all the time.
This is one of the challenges I have.
And the
with,
people who are
yeah,
doing the most work,
Right.
doing double effort,
Yes.
are the ones that we love to help those ones out.
Yes.
It's like anything you want. I know you are showing up for life, and I will lay down and help you do this. Let's crawl through it. We are gonna get there. And when I say we don't say no, that means we're gonna give it everything that we have within us and try to find everybody else that's and why? Why? I've turned down grants that have asked me to report on things like I'm like, I will not contribute
Right.
to the, what are you doing with that data? Why is this
Right.
an issue for you?
Yes.
And who are you to put that on us?
Yes.
You
Just give me the money. Huh?
just give me the money. Know that I'm going to do good work with it. Yeah, get out of here. Show me the money.
Just give you the money and say, okay, we know you
Yeah.
can do this.
I mean, and then everyone's got a boss and a level and a board to report to and
Yeah.
stocks and who cares? Okay,
It could
this
be
is what
made
matters.
easier. The process could be made easier. That's for sure. Yes.
But I think that's where the heads come together, right? Like, we're getting kind of piecemealed together to support you.
And I know why they take those grants. They have to survive because they are doing great work, and they don't always run across a situation where they have to say no because of discharge status or something. So I understand it both ways, right?
Yes. Yes.
And okay, and
Yeah.
and what is the solution, right?
Right. Yeah. The solution is the collaboration that we're talking about, getting together with different agencies. And I just want to say in my kind of like final statement or whatever, because I know you're on a time frame here, is that the part of my life that's Ask Dr. Applewhite, it's on YouTube channel. And there's a lot of information on there about trauma triggers, and I encourage you to listen to some of the things that I'm doing with what we call the Differently Abled Network, and to understand that everything that you guys have said today kind of like falls right into what I feel the biggest problems are, and that is that we need to connect people to the right resources, to the most appropriate resources. But we need to make sure that they can get there and that they can get home. Okay, so many times we do the bus pass to, but not the bus pass from, okay? And, and then the bus pass is an issue because when somebody's going for a job interview or has an exam, how do they get that money quickly? And that's what we're trying to do with the network is to be able to give that money quickly so that we can restore their hope, so that they can get that job. And you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I've written into the budget to have that amount, a sufficient amount on hand for that direct to service, or that direct service.
Right.
So I can say, this is what I can do in-house, this is what I can do with the grant money. Most of the grant money is specific to each program. And then we have like some overhead costs with the new space. Good golly, that's a lot gonna be going into that.
Yes.
But it's worth it, it's necessary.
wait to hear.
But
Yes.
we do need to have hands-on cash flow or assistance bills
Right.
that we can hand out because of situations like that. They're
Right.
like, and the new location is right on the light rail. I know that we're gonna get that space. It's not here yet, but it's coming and we're gonna get it. We're gonna lock it all in. Everybody, let's just manifest it, it's happening.
And the mentoring, Nicole, the mentoring is so important.
The mentoring is
Yeah.
what I wish I could do on the regular, but I feel like that's what I get to do. I get to have
Yeah, you
those
do.
conversations
You do.
with everybody.
You do. And I'm doing an official mentoring. Where we connect, educate, and support with mentorship.
I
so,
saw that. I love that.
Yes.
You're
Yes.
reconnect, educate, and support.
Yes.
And I'm
Yes.
reconnect, rebuild, and rise.
Yes.
I cannot believe this divine synchronicity that had me connect with you. This is
Yes.
so amazing. And
Yes.
that's what we were talking about earlier is how things are just lining up. And wow, what's next, right? Instead of saying, oh, there's another anvil, like, what's next? Like what shit's gonna fall out of the sky now, but now we get to say, what's next? Like greatness keeps happening. So it's confirmation bias. What you seek is what you shall find, right? So instead of looking for all the negatives, we're looking for the positives,
Positives, yes.
because it's natural. Those are real. They happen. We look for them. They're there. Let's focus on that. Let's focus on the good. What's working, and whatever's not, we can lay it down. We can ask someone to help us take it away and bury it, process it, let it go, move on. And Nicole, what would you say about that?
Do we have time to find out? I mean, I know we have one 21-year-old in here. What she thinks of this, of women veterans and the struggle that you're here right now. Is it scary for you? I mean, is it?
I wouldn't say it's scary, but it's been eye-opening for sure. I mean, obviously I'm not a veteran, I haven't served, and I think it's noteworthy to emphasize the fact that I won't ever be able to relate, so long as I don't join, obviously, but or serve. But I think this group and this organization as a whole, and all of your experiences and everyone coming together, it's so important. And it's something that I have not been exposed to, nor do I really hear about, especially being a student in college. I don't hear about this. And you would honestly think the opposite as I'm getting prepared to graduate and enter the real world, because this is the reality of it all. But I really liked what everyone was saying, and it kind of just brought up a point in my mind of, you mentioned focusing, Nicole, on the positive, but Dr. Applewhite herself tells me all the time, focus on what you can do rather than what you can't do. And I think that's so important, because it sounds like here, that's what we're doing. And I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be support cheerleader and hopefully help us make some waves.
Yeah, let's make some waves.
Yeah.
Be the disruptor. We got to shake it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you can get the word out at the college.
Exactly, yeah. Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
A lot of these younger adults have big online platforms, things I'm not well versed in, or frankly, don't like to be on and do. That's we all have our strengths and weaknesses here. So, Nicole, would you like to share?
Oh, hi. I'm Nicole. I actually found East Valley Women's Veterans from 211. My children and I are currently homeless, living in a hotel, and
I remember calling and they gave me a whole bunch of resources for veterans, and a lot of them were like mostly geared towards helping men, helping people that actually have PTSD or how, you know, go to the VA, things like that. There was some transitional housing, but it was like more after what I'm dealing with now that they can assist with, and Azura. And I remember I called a couple of times. I know I spoke with you, I believe, once, and I don't remember who else, but I had never showed up because, you know, I never had the gas or the way to get here, or I had to be at work. It was just always something that was just blocking me getting here. And then there was just one day where I was off work, and I said, you know what, I'm just gonna go up there. And I just showed up. Didn't even call, I don't think. I just showed up, or I may have called and said I'm on my way, but I just showed up and started talking with Nan, and then Nan put me in touch with Miss Nicole over there, and ever since they have helped me in so many ways. I cannot thank them enough.
Yes.
My children are so thankful. Excuse me.
Oh, it's okay.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Everything's
My
going to be
son
okay.
even went right up to her and thanked her personally, shaking her hand.
Pass that down.
I told you it was gonna happen.
I told them before I got on the air, I was like, you know, I cried last night after we all left my office because it's like, yeah, it's a lot to hold, and we don't have to hold it on our own.
Yeah, you know, she,
It's the frustration
Yeah.
that the struggle that
Yeah.
it frustrates me that I can't fully help her the way that she
yes,
deserves.
Yes, which is getting her to stability, but we will get her to stability.
Yeah.
Because she's trying, and she's got her sleeves turned up, and
She
she's
is a
ready to go.
hard-working mama
Yeah.
who has been through it and is still. You're so strong. She is
Yes.
still doing it, and her children are respectful and they're
Yes.
great. Yes.
Yeah. Well, you are wonderful for opening up the door. Here you are, right in the middle of getting ready to move and all of this, and taking the time to connect with me and other resources to try to help her, and we're gonna do it. Yeah.
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 It's just sad that there's not enough out there right now for anybody in any situation. Especially like, you know, if you are working or just even if you're not and you're looking for a job, it's hard. And it's really sad to see how many veterans are out there that are struggling, especially women veterans that just don't have the adequate resources that we should have. And going to that brunch with this group of ladies was extremely, extremely amazing to me. Because I got to meet Veronica, and she's helping me. I got to meet all of you. Well, I think I just met you today. But I got to meet all of you, and it's just been amazing to be a part of this because I never had this. I didn't even know this was a thing until I met Nicole.
And we all need it. We all need each other. Yeah.
Oh, now I'm gonna cry, man.
Yeah.
But it
This
was
is
great
beautiful.
because I asked her to come to brunch. I was like, there's so many women who want to help you, who have more resources than I, and I don't always get to talk to every woman at brunch because we always break off in our small conversations. It's fun. And I met up with Nicole the other day, and she's like, you know, Kim Pritchard helped her get her wheels replaced on her vehicle.
Okay.
She had this tire that just wouldn't stop deflating. Like, what is the problem? Like something
Wow.
wasn't. But she's like, oh, just go down to this place and I got you. And just like that same day, Veronica, same day. She's like, I'm on the phone. She's calling the VA. She's calling her community partners. I'm talking to you. You're reaching out to your people. And I'm over here trying to hold it down while we're trying to figure out the rest of this. And wow, yeah. And how brave of you to walk in the door and be like, I just showed up. Like, I'm done. I need help. And this thing is here. I'm just going to show up. And it's cool that 211 mentioned us
Yes.
because
Yeah.
it's good that the hotline works like that.
First ones that they gave me was you, but they didn't mention the women's part. They just said it was a veteran organization. So I feel like if they knew more that, you know, that you do a lot more for women, that would be something that when women veteran call them, they can definitely be you would be the first one on their list.
Yeah.
How your kids
Let's get
doing?
it out there.
They're good. My kids are resilient. They're just happy.
How old are they?
17 and 15. We are in a little 2-bedded hotel room, and they have the beds. I have a pallet.
Okay.
Yeah, you can have the beds. It's
Right.
okay, because you go, you know.
You did the mom thing. Like,
Yeah.
She's a mom.
you guys- right,
You
right.
got beds, you're good.
Your son's doing online homework, online
Yes, my
school.
son is online, and my daughter actually is in person. McKinney-Vento has been amazing too, and if you know anybody that has children and they're homeless, they have that amazing program where they have to get them to school. The
Okay.
school district has to transport them to and from school. no matter the situation, no matter
Say
how far you are
say
in the
that
state.
resource one more
It's
time.
McKinney-Vento, and it's like amazing, because once you let the school know your situation and you get approved, they will contact the district that you're near. That district will be the one that brings your child home. The district your child goes to will be the one to pick them up and bring them to school every day at the
That's
same time.
amazing.
It was always good, like sharing knowledge, like when you go in, like I was saying, just like volunteering and like what you were talking about, like, you know, my mom, she was a Navy veteran, and I didn't know the resources that were available to me as a taking care of a veteran until afterwards, but at least I know now to share with somebody else that walks through the door, you know, and can help them as well. But I know it's so hard when you don't have a place, you got kids, and trying to find work when you don't have a residence, and it just like starts the domino effect, and it's like when the doors shut on you, you're like, now what?
That's the one
Glad
thing
you came here.
I'm grateful for is I do have employment. Like that's one thing I am grateful. I think I would be in a worse headspace if I didn't.
If you had what? You have what?
I have employment, so I am employed. But if I wasn't, my
Right.
headspace would be completely different.
Yeah, well, it's still hard, yeah.
Yeah.
When you got two people depending on you. Right.
Unfortunately, you've never had to actually sleep on the street, right?
No, I have done that before, but not now.
Right.
No, not during
Right.
this situation.
Right.
That's a different story.
Yeah.
That's a story for another time.
A different session.
Right. You know what? Yeah. That's
We could
true.
all go down another one.
You know. I love it. I
Counselors
love it.
for each other, right?
You're doing a wonderful.
For each other's counselors, we can
It is
bounce
amazing.
stuff off
Um,
of each other.
One of my other volunteers is here in the house, Leslie. Hey, she was at the first East Valley Women Veterans meeting as well. She's also an AmeriCorps Vista and a Marine, and she's also worked for other veteran organizations. And then,
Yeah, a little bit like Nicole, I started as an AmeriCorps Vista, and I just sort of got led there. 2015, I was again looking for a job, and found out about AmeriCorps Vista and an organization. This was through the Governor's Office of Youth, Faith, and Families. A veteran and military organization was looking for a Vista, and I was like, holy cow, you know, veteran, military, and being a paid volunteer all together in one, you know? And I served in the reserves when I was going to school at U of A. And this was during Desert Storm. I wasn't deployed, but they did take a group of guys from our unit. So I never served active duty. That was the big thing, and especially back then, before 9/11, it was reserves, active duty, totally separate, you know, and there was we made fun of each other, like each of the branches made fun
Did
of
you
each
shoot
other.
an M16?
Yeah,
So you know what? You signed a blank
Yeah.
check.
and that's one of the things that I love about being a veteran and all the veterans I've come in contact with. I've only had once in the last, 9 to 10 years that somebody brought up the reserve thing, and it was a young Marine who just got out. And I just wanted to like, but yeah, I didn't even identify as a veteran for, Jesus, so
It's a
long.
big one. Yeah.
Because when I left, 92 is when I left, and it was a so long, see you, have a nice life. And my dad and all of his brothers served. My mom had an older brother who served 32 years in the Navy. I happened to be serving when he retired, so I was able to bring him out during his retirement. And so I started working for this organization, which I fell in love with. I was passionate about it. I loved it so much. It was just a small group of us working to do, you know, we did whatever we had to, put our heads down, do everything. And even some of the people who I worked with said, you're the heart of this place. Because I was just like giving it all. And it was the first time I really identified as a veteran, because before that I hadn't even thought about it.
Wow.
It was like I didn't even have my DD-214, because before then you didn't get it if you were reserves, you know? So I worked with them, including being a Vista, for 8 years or so. And then I lost my job last year. Over COVID, we started working from home, and that was not great for me. I didn't have the contact with other people. Even though I grew up an only child, I was used to doing things alone, being alone. I needed that contact with people. And that's one reason I loved it so much, because we all worked with each other. We were all, no matter what situation which we served, we all served. And we just did the work together. You come together and you do it. And things changed so much with that organization over COVID. And I ended up losing my job. And the way things ended, it was very, very traumatic for me, brought up a lot of history for me. And so I went on Access, got SNAP benefits, started going to Adelante Healthcare Community Healthcare Center. And I was like, I need to go to the VA and claim for MST, because I hadn't even thought about it. 80s and 90s, something like that happened, you blame yourself. Because that's the way we talked about it back then. It's like, well, I put myself in this position, I'm to blame.
Even now, my sweetheart.
Mm-hmm.
Even now.
That's the same thing. And then I realized, I'm like, wait, that happened during training. Didn't happen during my reserve duty.
So sorry.
Happened during training in Fort Lee, Virginia. And then I started going to counseling and found out, wait a minute, I had complex PTSD, as she said it. So I've been dealing with depression and suicide ideation my whole life nearly. And I think one reason I went into serve was to find purpose, to find something that got me away from that. And so I went to the VA, claimed for MST. My claim is still active, and I'm working with one of the benefits counselors. But it's interesting how I said, okay, I have MST, and I can get my meds from the VA. I'm on mental health meds, highest doses, of some of them, but I can't get treatment for MST.
And that's very, very difficult because of the service-connected disability.
That's
I'm so sorry. I
service-connected.
am addressing that. I want you to know.
And
Okay.
so that's
That's
one
great.
thing.
Thank you, Doc.
Thank goodness Kamisha Guy. I've known a lot of these people because I've worked in the community for a lot of years with this organization I worked with. And Kamisha, thankfully, she's like, I'll go down to the regional office with you and we'll talk. It's like, they've got your records. They've got all of that. Let's just go down there and we'll talk about it and see if we can get that service connection. That's what I need. And, but I'm so grateful that Nan and Nicole together started this East Valley Women's Group because, like she said, there was a West Valley group, but I mean, how long does it take to drive all the way over there to Peoria, Glendale, or whatever? It's like, I'm not driving there all the time. It's too far.
It's a women's group over
Jessica Rosa.
Jessica
Is it
Rosa
very
started it.
It's what do you call it? A social group.
Social group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she's got, I think within a year she gained like 200 members. Like
Okay.
there's a really large group, and they do a they do a lot of outreach together. It's really cool to see them come together. They also have like a monthly brunch that they do, and they have their little forever home, and we're kind of in the same field there. We have our forever place now. Anyway, there's a bunch of women over there doing a lot of good work, and some of them are members of both groups, and it just happens to be like that. So we're trying to, but she's not a nonprofit, so a lot of the work that Jessica does comes out of her own pocket, and whatever she can get from the community as well. But
When you have a nonprofit, it comes out of your pocket.
yep, pretty much it is. Not supposed to do that, but
I
you got to
know.
do what you got to do because
know.
of the heart you
Keep
got.
the doors open,
Yeah.
you know?
FYI, I didn't know that I was friends with Jessica Rosa on Facebook. I met her through an actual veterans group, like a different one on Facebook. So when she said her name, I was like, and I just showed her, and I was like, is this her? Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
that's
worked
great.
in, she works.
Who's that?
Yeah, Jessica Rosa. She's
Okay.
what do we say? She's right now. She's with the gambling. Yeah.
For the state of Arizona.
Yeah, so she works for the state, but she's worked with Wanda Wright, and she's been in all legislation and everything. So she's been on the House floor and all that. So she's making change and lobbying, and yeah, she's got the right intentions. She's got a lot of women around her, and she's gaining. She's got a family and support, and she's doing it as much as we all. We're all juggling too much. Let's come together and put some of it down, lay it down, so we don't, because burnout is a real
Burnout.
thing.
Oh, yes, big thing.
And
thing.
I saw that.
Be here unless it was for Wanda, Colonel Wanda Wright, or for Gabe Forsberg.
Gabe is awesome.
I got to work with Gabe and Wanda with DVS because we did work closely with them. And when Wanda was director, it was put women in focus, and that was one of her programs. And Gabe came to the meetings, I went to the meetings, a number of us went to meetings. It was like, let's put a focus on women veterans. Unfortunately, because she's no longer the director, that sort of fell. But meaning those are all the changes. But Gabe is a force to be reckoned with, for one.
Gabe Forsberg, yes.
Gabe Forsberg is fantastic, and how she gets the energy of it, I swear.
Yes.
But if it hadn't been for them starting all of that, women veterans we wouldn't be here. The West Side group wouldn't be together. And
We
this
would still
wouldn't
be here because, just because of those women are starting doesn't mean other women can't start things.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's not like we're seeing it on other people's shoulders. We're not separate from them, and those women don't treat us like there is a hierarchy. They're like, what? How can I help? Like Wanda,
Yeah.
straight up, how
Right.
can I help? Gabe,
And
all the
that's what
time.
That's what
She's-
we want.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
you want. We don't
Yeah.
want competition. We don't want gatekeeping of resources. And so, what would you like to ask these other organizations? What is the big ask from them? How do we get them to come in and join this alliance? Because when we ask other members, other organizations to join, they kind of like shift. They're like, like they've been hurt by other organizations before, or they don't want to give away what they've
That's
built,
it.
and because people can take your ideas and run with it, and still sponsors and what have you, and
Right.
it should be about collaboration over competition, and there is competitiveness.
What is your intention?
Yeah,
Is your intention to truly work out the purpose of helping another human being, especially a woman veteran? Is that your intention? Then if that's your intention, then you should be quite willing and open to collaborate with other women veterans.
it shouldn't be about the mouthpiece out there trying to get it. It should be about the work.
Yes.
It should be about everything you guys just said. That's who I would give my money to.
And you know what I like about what we're doing here too? Think about the diversity, even in this room today. We can talk about cultural diversity, we can talk about racial diversity, we can talk about sexual diversity. There's all kinds of things that we're addressing here. But I think it's so important that you've opened the door to talk about disability. And I am so open to coming back and being that part of this women's group, is to give my knowledge and experience in the field of disability to help you with getting into vocational rehabilitation, making sure they do the job right. Okay? So,
Yes, ma'am. We got a lot of work to do. I'm so
Okay.
excited.
yes.
And I'm so excited for all of you, because wherever you were before you got here, do you feel like you're in a better place now and like have a better trajectory? The way that you all nodded your heads, like just like made my heart just like melt. Thank you. Because like that's how I feel. Like, aw.
Yeah, right.
But
Yeah.
seriously, I'm
Yeah.
grateful for all of
Yeah.
you. And I get to learn on the fly from all these women all the time. So let's just keep doing it.
Right.
Blaze ahead.
Yeah. Dance.
And dance. Let's end it with the joy. Like Diana
Yeah.
Crane from Goodwill Military Career Center says, what is your pumpkin? What is your joy? Find that in your life, however small, but find the gratitude. Let's look
That's right.
for the positive, not the negative, and you'll find it. And then just start gaining traction there little by little. Come in here, let's
Dance in
talk.
the rain when there's a storm.
Find her online. She is everywhere. Dr. Apple, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
And all of you service members, thank you for your service. Thank you for showing up today. Thank you for showing up for each other and for showing up for me and giving me my purpose back. My pumpkin is you.
Yeah.
Truly, it is. I would not be in all of this right now if it wasn't for you. You guys make me happy, and you make me get outside of my insecurities and whatever holds me back. And thanks, because yeah, it feels awesome to feel good, you know. For so long, we've all felt terrible in all kinds of ways for way too long of an era. Like I didn't think that would ever end. And so it's almost hard to trust how good you feel when you feel good.
Yeah, especially under some duress at times from the administration and political entities. You know, we have to take that into account also, the stress of all of that. And I hear it a lot now.
Yes.
Yeah. No pun, one way or the other.
But it's real.
Yeah.
We have to, yeah.
As a matter of fact, I just found out as a nonprofit, we're a nonprofit White Apple Institute, and we are not supposed to, the funding will be cut, from what I understand, for any nonprofit that promotes DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. The same way the universities are being told not to promote it. So it causes me to have some apprehension about how much I can share. So I've made up my mind that I'm just going to be a warrior now. Okay?
Okay.
All right? I'm going to say what I have to say.
Oh, yeah? Or hoorah, or however your branch says it.
Hoorah! Okay.
It's all grunt.
All right.
Yeah,
All
we got
right.
your back, Doc.
Okay.
We got your
All
back.
right. We got to go after the people that have a little bit to share and explain to them what's going on, because they don't know. They don't know. Most people don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay? Let's let them know. And we need to do some videos. We need to get them out. We need to take advantage of social media. Okay? And that's all we can hope for, because they write the checks. The people that write the checks. Okay?
All right, ladies, let's lock it up. There's tons of food left over, so let's get it out of here before it goes bad. And thank.
I know.
I'm not talking about you. What's tomorrow? Anyway, it was gifted from Columbia Bank. They're one of our new Mesa chambers right here next door. And thank you for the contribution. And I love that the community comes over and sees how they can help service us, this organization. So I love that aspect. As a community here in Mesa, thank you. Thank you, Veronica, with your organization here. And to all of my volunteers, to the staff, and to our guests, and her beautiful little pup, who has been so amazing today,
Yes.
well behaved,
Yes.
and makes you smile. And I love that.
Yes.
Let's all find what makes us smile and share it with the world. Okay, so I love that we're ending this on a positive note. So let's just keep it there. Let's keep it live. Let's keep it joy. And thanks to the production team back here, Happy Jack Media and Death and Night Productions.
Do you have
Those guys show up all the time for us.
I see the guitars over
It's
here.
beautiful.
And
Yes,
you know,
every Friday.
every Friday, and you know, after every
Should we switch it again?
Every other Friday.
it's every other Friday.
This
Oh,
Friday, we will be here.
okay.
Yes. Okay, so starting this Friday, it's every other
Right.
Friday. Gold Star mom, Goldie Murphy, she comes in and teaches ukulele and guitar lessons. Norma comes here for that. A couple other of our members come, and
Okay.
yeah, so.
All right.
And she does TAPS here. It's a national organization,
Oh.
Tragedy Assistance
Yes.
Program for
Oh,
Survivors.
yes. Yeah.
So and their local chapter is held here, and I think that's just amazing. So,
Yes.
and a lot of Gold Star family members helped me build the lounge. So.
Well, I'm always looking for artists and musicians too, because I end my podcast with an
Well,
upbeat.
We have an Army veteran who is the veteran liaison at the Mesa Arts Center, Alicia. She's Army.
Wow.
She's not here right now, but she does a lot of great work over there. So Mesa Arts Center does a lot for the veteran community.
Yeah.
It's great. So
Right.
I'm going to get you linked in with
Connected.
them.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's what we
everyone
do.
be safe. Yeah, let's talk to each other. Let's ask each other for help and find the solutions and look for commonalities and not differences, because you're worth it. I'm glad you all showed up. You're so brave. We are warriors, and we're going to keep going.
That's right.
Nothing's going to stand in our way. We don't say no to ourselves, and let's just try to just
we
keep
can do.
keep being the light for those that are still stuck in their struggles. Okay, so thanks for tuning in. Come back next time. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this so that all the funding will come back to the center and we can continue to do this great work. And thanks, guys, in the back, and we'll see you next time on The Spotlight.
Okay.